Happy holidays and Merry Bloody Christmas! All right, this is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and this is the last episode for 2021. We made it, I think. I think we're still intact, some of us, but holy cow. Tonight, I am joined by the amazing Hexen Arcane! But first... something on my face. Oh, Celeste Morgan, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us. Looks like we're having a little freeze frame thing going on here. Okay, there we go. Oh, yay, technical issues.
Always fun.
Right out of the gate. Oh,
we specialize in them.
Yeah. No matter what, we still run into them on our end. But oh well, the show must go on. Yeah, ladies, thanks for coming on to the show. You are Hexen Arcane.
We are.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Hexen Arcane. You're YouTube, TV show host in the horror genre. If you wouldn't mind going around, tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you got into this.
Well,
Celeste.
Yeah, we're witches, we're sisters, and we go on lots of adventures. So we thought, why not delve into it? We also absolutely love horror, and we love cheesy horror and independent horror and bad horror and the old stuff. So we are combining these passions into our show, Hexen Arcane.
Nice. The how did the two of you meet up? Essentially you're what? Immortals, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're sisters. But we were separated for a while. We actually came together on a different horror host show. I have to say a word about this. We were on a show called Deadger's Dark Coffin Classics.
Oh, cool.
And the host actually just passed away this month. So we want to give a thank you to him for giving us our start and love you forever.
Oh, man, that's tough.
And, we owe him that so much for bringing us into a working capacity together and also for giving us our start on horror hosting.
Yeah, wow. How long ago was that, Morgan?
Let's see. I started on Deadger's Dark Coffin Classics 2018, wasn't it, Celeste?
Yeah, I started 2014 and she came on in 2018.
Yep.
Wow.
And I had known Deadger for a while beforehand. I was a waitress many moons ago, and he was one of my regular customers that would come in. So that's how I met Kurt, who played Deadger, and ultimately Celeste too as well, with her grilled cheese and jalapenos.
Yes, my grilled cheese and jalapenos. She remembers my order.
I do.
Nice. What a great great time to meet up. Over some grilled cheese, right?
Yes. Jalapenos.
But
gotta be spicy.
But DDCC did bring us even closer together, though, and like my sister was saying, is we owe Deadger for our start in this world and whatnot, and I do owe him a huge thank you for giving me my sister.
Yeah, that's awesome. that show, was it like another like YouTube platform, or was it like kind of public access, that sort of thing that you see with a lot of horror hosts?
It was on public access, YouTube, Vimeo. Where else was it all?
YouTube, sometimes Vimeo a little bit, mostly public access. We're also on 2 public access channels, 2 Roku channels, and then we have our YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. That's cool. Going from there and doing your own thing with Hexen Arcane, what a great name. How did you come up with that?
We were just throwing out stuff, and more like I was thinking I want something that people won't, like when you Google it, you aren't going to find anything else. Mm-hmm. And I also didn't want to lock us into only horror hosting if that's all we wanted to do. So we didn't want to be too specific. And so Hexen is actually German for witches. I'm German, the heritage, and Arcane is like mysterious. So basically it means mysterious witches. And we thought we can do anything with that. And also it's a name where if you know it, you're not going to forget it. It's something, if you look it up, you're only going to find us.
Right.
I love it. Sometimes I Google us just for fun, just to see what pops up. And then I go to pictures and I'm like, oh, it's us.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Man, that's pretty awesome. Hexen Arcane, that sounds like a great title for a comic book too.
That would be amazing if we were a comic book someday. If anyone wants to ever do that, there's plenty of public material.
Yes, I would fully endorse it.
Morgan's kind of
have an
a
action figure,
so your exploits would be great comic book material.
Oh no. I'm the bad influence sister.
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
And I'm
and
ditz, but I'm like happy-go-lucky.
She's got the common. Well, I don't know. Should I say common sense, Celeste, or you're more book smart? Yeah. What? I don't know. I like to think I'm street smart, but
yes, very much so.
Nice.
Sometimes.
Well, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Maybe an R-rated Hocus Pocus.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
We'd definitely make it R-rated. Oh God.
Yeah.
No,
Animal House meets Hocus Pocus.
Oh dear, jeez. That is an interesting blend. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'd read that. If you're going to go that route, you might want to make just a horror comedy film.
That would be fun. We'd be down.
Yeah.
I'm a huge National Lampoon fan, so like I don't know, I try to pay homage to that in some of the skits that I come up with, and I drag this poor woman along with me.
She's on my video game stuff.
Yes.
That's awesome. Now, before we went live, I mentioned that, I gave, your broadcast of, the 1962 classic, the caveman, kind of B movie, Ega. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it sounded like, the caveman's kind of guttural, thing. But, I gave that a watch. I've never heard of that movie. And, I thought it was very charming, for what it was and everything. And kudos for sharing something that, I'm sure a lot of people out there never really heard of or, aren't familiar with.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we really enjoy showing that. We love showing independent movies, and we love showing like more obscure movies that like, I like watching new things. So if I'm like, I haven't seen this and it sounds good, we'll show it. And then a lot of times we really regret it. Like there were some where we were like, this sounds amazing. And then we go to show it and we're like, this was a huge mistake. We're really sorry to our audience. We're surprised anyone still watches us.
But I have a saying though, the worse the movie is, the better our skits are. So it evens out.
It's true. Okay. But we've had some like absolutely terrible movies that have made no sense. And
nice.
Was it Belle from Hell? That we're still trying to like, we're still scratching our heads on that one. Like, ooh.
Yeah, I think I'm quite the uninitiated here. I guess I'm not familiar with that as well.
You should go and watch that show because that is 2 hours of your life you can never get back.
Yes. Nope.
Oh,
And I'm not sorry.
Yes, do it, but we're also sorry.
yeah.
You may be sorry, Celeste. I'm not sorry.
Sounds like a little disclaimer to be added right in front of it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's some absolutely terrible movies that we end up finding where we're like, the description makes it sound so good, and then
Right.
it's just
Right.
Yeah.
That your format, showcasing films, you kind of have these little breaks in I guess some skits, but you're also like going around the country, traveling, investigating the local folklore and haunted sites and stuff. Yeah, you get a little bit of everything, it seems like. How do you guys go about that and kind of deciding what goes into these shows?
Celeste, you want
Morgan, yeah, has a lot of inspiration. She's always like, I'm feeling restless today. Let's go somewhere.
I will randomly text her and be like, hey, I'm bored, I'm restless, I feel like causing mayhem. So there's this haunted spot. Like, let's go.
And I'm always like, grab the camera, let's go. And
Nice.
We went randonauting one time.
yeah.
That was interesting.
You know that app?
What's that?
Randonautica?
Randonautica, do you know that app?
No, I don't. I just thought that was some kind of travel term that you were throwing out. It's like, oh, you guys are very much in the know.
And you think of it with some kind of intention, and then it'll give you random location. You can set the distance. So we did like within 10 miles of us.
Wow.
And we set the intention of death, and it took us to a site of a fatal car crash that had happened years ago, and it was really chilling. We were out late at night driving around, and we both got like chills. And
That was the first one. And then the second one was we had a very infamous cold case here from back in the early 90s. And her name was Amber Creek. And they finally, within the last, I think, 2-3 years here, found out and caught the man who had killed her and left her in the nature preserve. But it was like a big to-do because we were from a smaller area. And this girl was not from around here. But that app took us there, too, to the preserve, which was terrifying. And then the third place it took us was the nudist camp.
Well, you got to cap it off with the nudist camp,
Oh, yeah.
adventure,
oh,
right?
we're like, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, that could sound pretty chilling.
Yeah, we just bring a lot of our own interests into our show. So if we find something we're like, this is interesting. I was playing around with Randonautica. I'm like, let's do it. Let's film
Yes.
it. I go on a lot of random travels, and everywhere I go, I'll find whatever story I can cover, and we'll throw those things in. She does the same thing. She went to the Upper Peninsula, and she got all these ghost stories. So it's like we just take any opportunity to bring you guys, our audience, into our life a little bit.
Yeah. And sometimes when she travels, I'll be messaging her, okay, so you're going to be in this area. Here's a story for you. And then she'll do the same for me too. So we have a lot of fun with it. And like she said, we bring a lot of our own interests in it too. One of our first episodes, I took her to Mount Carmel, where Al Capone's buried. Yeah. So I gave her the gangster tour, which was pretty fun.
Nice.
And I think she enjoyed it. I hope she enjoyed it. I had fun.
Yeah, we tried to look for Resurrection Mary, and
oh yes, Resurrection. Yep.
What?
Yep.
On your travels, what's the and granted, you've already listed some amazing, surprising, random, ventures. But what's some of the most surprising things that you've come across that you just weren't prepared for?
I would say recently, Little Lord Fauntleroy out of Waukesha. Yeah. Now, Celeste had given me a little bit of the background on it, and it was great. And I was happy reporting on it and whatnot. It was when we actually went to go visit him in the cemetery that the reality of it just hit. And it was like,
yeah, it's a cold case, 100-year-old cold case of a child whose body was found in a nearby town, and we went to cover it. And it ended up touching both of us so much that we started a change.org petition to see if they can exhume the body and DNA test it and find out who this kid is, because he's buried under like an unknown headstone now. We just want to put a name for this kid. So it really ended up like affecting both of us to the point where we wanted to like do something about it.
Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like, you know, and you do see this with, I guess, a lot of like murder podcasts and stuff, but, you know, people really kind of investigating, you know, cold cases. It sounds like you're kind of taking that upon yourself as well.
Yeah, she went on a whole deep dive and like looked up the clothes he'd been wearing and what catalog they came from and what years they could have been from, where they were bought. Like we were just in all these, like scouring all the old newspapers.
I went down to the microfiche with,
she was like
with this case. Like, and she told me, she goes, just so you know, anytime I look this case up, I go down the rabbit hole. And the next thing I know, I am down that rabbit hole too. And I'm like, so this is what I found. And here's who was related to who. And here's the family tree. And this person and that person. Oh, man, it was a whole day conversation.
Oh, jeez.
It got insane. So I have to go back and like reference everything when I get going on it again.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty intense. How far did you get with that? You were talking about, you know, trying to get the body exam for DNA testing.
Now we have close to 200 signatures on the petition. We share it periodically, and every event we go to, we have printout with a QR code that people can scan and then sign it. So we're hoping when it gets to like 500 or 1,000 that we can then send it to the city of Waukesha. And
then I reached out to the Doe Network as well. I don't know. I know like a lot of the internet sleuths have probably heard of the Doe Network by now, because they do have like a Facebook page, websites, things like that. And they are the ones that will feature these cold cases. They're linked up with Can You Identify Me, Missing Children of America, things like that. And I had reached out to somebody, and they actually have people in areas of each state that work on these cold cases. So I thought, just for yucks, I'm going to reach out. And I actually got a response back, and they were going to feature it on a show. And for the life of me right now, I cannot recall the name of the show, but that's where we're at right now. And they said that they would share the petition as well. So I'm hoping, after how this year has gone, that will be one of the good things to.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, it sounds like you guys are you know, trying to do a lot of good, you know, bring about, you know, a lot of closure for, you know, some very traumatic things that occurred.
Well, when we get into these cases, we're always fascinated by them, and we love the horror aspect. We love the serial killers and all that stuff. But it's not just the love of it. It's like that fascination, but it brings a lot of like interest in the people that were hurt by it or the victims. And we want to change it, or we want to help people. So ultimately, although it's a source of interest, we try to turn that into something good and not just something that we do for like sensationalism or to like take advantage of somebody's tragedy.
Yeah.
Right. Like when we covered the Slender Man stabbing and whatnot, we try to be as respectful as we can. I felt that we did a pretty good job with that. And because that Slender Man stabbing case is so recent, tread lightly, because, you know, family's still in the area. I'm sure that the young woman who was the victim in that, she's still dealing with a lot. I saw that she finally did give an interview, but it was something that changed her life. And we try to respect people and their, you know, boundaries as best as we can. And there have been times where we have said to each other, okay, maybe we shouldn't do this, you know?
Right.
But we always try to help if we can. Like if we feel like our, like telling the story can help, even like at all, we'd like to tell that story.
Yes.
Nice. In that case in particular, you mentioned that there's a survivor, and she's still, you know, alive. So that's good, right?
Yeah,
that is very good, and that was the best possible outcome you could ask for in that type of situation. Thankfully, I feel for her because she's going to be dealing with that for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Wow, it's some amazing, you know, material that and real life things that you guys are, you know, addressing, while at the same time you've got, you know, this show showcasing, wonderfully, forgotten and sometimes terrible films, and doing your comedy skits along with that. The, doing the skits, is it all things that are like, kind of scripted out, or, is it stuff that, you kind of film and just, kind of, improv or off of each other?
It's like 50-50 because we'll go in with a general idea. We don't always know where it's going to go, and then we'll kind of go off each other. Like one of the things in pretty much every episode is I tell her at least one terrible joke.
Don't you dare! Not here! Not here!
Otherwise, she might leave. But she doesn't know the jokes beforehand, so she gets. She always her reactions are my favorite thing on the show because it's like sometimes I'll get her to laugh, but usually she's thoroughly disgusted with me.
Usually it's a road.
Yeah.
Other times I want to put her in the trunk of my car, but
it is a horror show.
Yes. Like she said, they're about 50-50. We'll loosely script some of them. The more in-depth ones we do loosely script. But I think that's part of the charm of working with my sister here is that we can feed off of each other like that. So we don't have to get down to a T. We have that connection and that charisma, I guess you would say.
Yeah, we have a lot of good connection with each other, and we can pick up on each other. I can tell if in an interview, and she can with me, if you're blanking on something, then the other one will jump in right away because it's we can just sense it, little things about each other. We know each other well enough that we can play off each other well.
Right. No, that's good. Well, you guys have worked together long enough too that you've got a little bit of a shorthand.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah, we've been together long enough. Yeah. We know, and
go ahead. I'm sorry, Morgan.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was about to say we have safe words too and stuff, which is awesome. That's I adore it. We have safe words if we're in a situation,
That's hilarious. What hopefully, I mean, you're recording. You can always just let's not use that bit. But the fact that you have to have safe words on set, that's great.
Well, not necessarily on set, but when we're out, we film a lot outside. So, or we interview with other people or we're at events. We did a few events in the last couple of years. So we always try to, and people jump on and all this stuff. So it's we don't just film in one location. We're just kind of all over the place.
There are bloopers and stuff like that too. So we felt that it was appropriate to have the safe words if one of us notices something going on that it's oh. Okay.
Nice. The getting back to excuse me, the films that you showcase, how do you sit down and decide what you're going to do? Is it copyright free material? Because I know on YouTube that's stuff that can be hard to monetize. How do you go about that?
We go for public domain because we can't afford to pay for rights right now, and we do independent. So usually our friends who make films or people will approach us and say we have a film, and we'll say, hey, is it something we can show on TV? Do I have to spend 14 hours editing out a bunch of stuff? Or is it something TV friendly? And if it's TV appropriate, we love to show independent movies. Otherwise, we stick to public domain.
Yeah. And we take turns picking the films too. So
we'll go through.
We talk every day. Celeste and I, we talk every day. So we've got a lot of communication, and it's great. I love it.
And we'll have ideas we'll either pick the movie and then get the skit ideas or what we want to do for it, or we'll have gotten footage somewhere or want to do something, and then we'll pick a movie that goes with that theme.
Or we'll have a skit
ahead so that we can have time to watch the movies and prepare.
Yes. What I like is when we have a skit and we look through our collection and we're like, oh, that one goes perfectly with that skit. Let's do it.
We're we haven't done werewolves in a while. Let's do something with werewolves. We'll go through all our werewolf movies. And
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. Have you ever come across something that you absolutely, just you sat down and watched, and it's like there's no way. We talked a little bit about some films that you have regrets having shown, but have you just come across some of those? It's like there's just no way we can't do it, and then on the other end of the spectrum, like ones you'd love to show but absolutely still can't.
Oh gosh, Celeste, what was that one that we were just like, we can't do this?
I don't clip parts out of movies, but in general, I'm like mostly like, I watched this movie, we're gonna show it. Like,
yeah,
I spent the time watching it, everybody's gonna suffer with me.
She's older than I am that way. Like there will be things I'll be like, that's cringeworthy. I don't know, but okay.
But
yeah, live a little. Let's live a little.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, like we want to be conscious, of things that won't be really appropriate now, but at the same time, you can't erase the past. We don't want to not show movies, so we try to preface with it saying, "Hey, we know this is pretty bad. Like this is a horrible portrayal of this."
Yes. Oh, Chloe Love Calls or something was the name of it. Love Calling. Yes, that's it. And that one, we were both like, okay.
We're like, we watched it. We're like, this is really like, it had some really like racist elements in the characters because it was a 20s movie. And so we really didn't like that element, but we didn't want to like have that movie not exist because I feel like if you take away that, history, you lose some of like, it's, I think, almost good to watch and be like, ugh, because it shows you how far you've come as a society to be like, wow, that is really wrong. And there were other elements of the movie that were enjoyable, but we definitely said, hey, this aspect is there.
Yeah. Like, we'll let our audience know, like, we feel like this is wrong. Yeah. We're going to show it, and here is why we feel that, you should watch it.
Talk about the actors in it, who the people were sometimes. Yeah. And, their story and how they didn't get credited correctly or given the right roles, but they did an amazing part with the roles they had.
Yeah.
Right. There was one with Hattie McDaniel, and she played the housemaid in that. And so I wanted to do a spotlight on Hattie McDaniel. She also played Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Wonderful, wonderful, talented actress.
Yeah.
And I adore that woman. So I was excited to show it. Unbeknownst to me, until I started doing more research on the film, was that it really caused an uproar in her community over it because she had taken a stereotypical role.
Yeah.
And so I felt that needed to be highlighted as well, as that this woman was not afraid to portray roles like that. And
wow,
dang good actress. I love Hattie McDaniel.
Yeah, it's interesting to take films from an era, bygone era, and put it under a more contemporary lens. Recently I've had discussions on like movies like popular movies like Big Trouble in Little China, and like The Monster Squad for instance. Like the use of homophobic language in The Monster Squad, and also the sexism that's in it as well. Just in it's little kids being little jerks to each other and in those umbrellas. But like with Big Trouble Little China, I had to sit with a friend and watch it. She had never seen it.
Okay.
She was absolutely appalled by it, and I couldn't figure out why until we had a conversation. It's like, so watching a film like that, and talking with her about it, it's like, oh my gosh, I never thought of so much of this sex trafficking as well as the racism, and of course sexism, that and misogyny that lives within it. But it's interesting to see that it's not just the sex trafficking of the bad guys in the film, but also the good guys were participating in that as well. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea.
Sorry, Morgan, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Celeste.
Oh, I was just going to say that when we watch these things, we know a lot of the older movies that we show are problematic, and we sat down and we talked about it, and we made a conscious choice. we're not going to not show these movies. We're instead going to discuss these elements of them and then move on to other parts of it. But we'll bring it up and say we know this is problematic, but we still want to show the movie.
What I like is I feel that it does open the door to have those conversations with people. Yeah. I have different opinions from other people, and that's one of the things that I do love about interacting with people is learning more. Yeah, I always like to learn. I think I'm an eternal student or something, but I enjoy it, and I enjoy learning new things. And like I said, sometimes these films help me to understand better what other people are going through. So
right, very much so.
It's good comes out of that.
Yeah, it's good to have these type of conversations. So much of our pop culture is kind of taken at face value, and there's a lot of subtext there that kind of needs to be delved into, discussed and even disseminated. So it's that way we know it's like, okay, moving forward, we know what not to do, and how to convey things so things are a little bit more socially aware and acceptable of what other people are dealing with, and how they're being portrayed in our popular culture. Representation.
Yes.
If I may interject an opinion here.
Sure.
Is that okay? That's what scares me about the cancel culture is I worry that by canceling everything, or as it seems that they've canceled so much, that closes that door for those conversations to be had. And, to be able to say like, hey, okay, that's wrong. If you don't see it or we erase it, how are we supposed to talk about it? Right.
And I think, that's a good point. Keep those conversations, going so that people go. I think the opposite is also true. People that are perceived to be canceled. I think there's some entities out there that overreact, and all they have to do is like realize, okay, this is your response. I appreciate it. Let me take that and devolve and kind of consume that. And instead, so many, it's not just that single entity, but entities around them.
If just I may give
you can still have a career and do X, Y, and Z.
Oh,
you can still do these other things. It's just maybe now either in a short amount of time respond to it, or extended amount of time learn how to adapt, or keep that in the back of your mind at least.
Be more conscious. Like that's my it's be more conscious. If I may give an example, I believe it was Stuart Baker who had made that terrible remark about Dolly Parton on his Twitter.
Oh,
I love Squidbillies. I love Stuart Baker, but that was absolutely inappropriate. Like, sir, no. There's no way to justify that.
I'm not familiar with what transpired.
Oh, Google it.
Okay. I'll Google it afterwards then. So we do have a trailer for your YouTube channel. Kind of conveying all the fun things that you guys do. Let's get that loaded up here real quick. Let me take these off real quick. Everything's kind of running a little slow, so we'll see. Let's add that in there. All right. There's that. And let's give this a play. Come on. There we go.
Hey everybody, I'm Celeste. And I'm Morgan. And we are Hexen Arcane.
Hello, we are here in front of the Ecking property. We made it! We did! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Oh God! Oh no! It's fine.
I am at the Iron County Museum, Halloween capital of the world.
It really amplifies the mustard.
Today, I see that Celeste and I have found ourselves sitting underneath an elephant's behind, a giant elephant butt. Why are we sitting under a giant elephant butt?
Everybody, I'm Celeste, and I'm Morgan.
Nice. Oh,
and we
shoot.
are Hexen Arcane.
And this
I
thing.
forgot about the sleepwalking. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I needed that laugh.
Yes, we've caught ourselves sleepwalking and jousting with pool noodles on our security camera.
Oh yes.
Wearing
But
like
it was more than that.
our heads. And
It involved a canoe too, didn't it? If I remember right.
yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. Was that actual sleepwalking, or were you guys just doing a bit?
It was a bit.
Okay, all right.
It was a bit.
It was
But she was the brainchild behind that one.
Yeah, she did. We did a Sherlock Holmes episode, which I love Sherlock Holmes. And so we were solving this mystery of who was messing around outside our house at night. We were watching the security footage, and it turned out you could see in the final one that it was in fact us.
Nice. Yeah, I especially love the one with the baby Yodas kind of hanging out at look like a jungle gym.
Oh yeah.
Oh
we
yes, we had fun.
found like these baby aliens, and we were trying to take care of them. And she was like the terrible parent, and I was like the helicopter parent.
Yes.
Nice. The going forward, like, do you have a lot of shows ready to go? Are you how far out do you curate your season?
Well, our goal is to film and have a show out every week, but honestly, it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, we have one that needs like 2 minutes of footage, and then it's ready to go. We have another one that's mostly filmed and it's ready to go, but they're not all finished yet. And due to the unfortunate death of our former host, we've had to take a little break for personal reasons on filming, just because it hit us really hard. Yeah. And we couldn't do it. So unfortunately, we're a little bit behind, but we're by no means done. And we will have more shows very shortly coming up here. Sometimes, it depends on how long the movie is and how much we're doing. But sometimes we have like 2-3 weeks ahead done. And then sometimes we're a week or two behind. We have to play catch up. But it's just life circumstances get in the way, unfortunately, sometimes of our intentions.
I mean, 2020 was great. We were on that mark. And then I don't know if I need to say more, but 2021. I mean, that's
it was awful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is another thing that I just adore about my sister is, I swear, like, she picks me up when I fall, and she is always there. So, I mean, as of late, she's been wonderful, and I'm so happy to work with somebody that I can trust and give the reins to when need be. And I can be open with her, like, hey, Celeste, like, I'm having difficulties.
If one of us
she's there.
Issues, the other one could film, and we're like totally like if I just can't do it, I'm like, hey, can you get some footage? She'll get footage or whatever it is. Like if we have personal stuff going on,
let's
try to
and I try my darndest.
We try to have each other's back and like pick up where we need to for each other.
That's awesome that you guys are have such a strong support system in place between the two of you. Do you beyond the two of you, do you have any additional crew or team, or is it really just you guys?
I can't say it's just us, because we have had so much support from the horror community. We have people, who made our show intro. We have people who have done music for us and made that'll be coming out for us and done artwork for us. But on the day-to-day putting the show together, it's the two of us. We do the camera work for the most part. We do all the editing. We come up with all the skits, things like that. We have guests in, and that's wonderful. But we have had so much support, so I can't say we're doing it alone.
And thankfully, we've got our producers too that they help us get the show out there and whatnot. But like Celeste said, the editing, the skits, when we film, what we film, how we film, that's us. Like that is the music, the movies, like that's that's us.
That's awesome. It's you know, it's totally your show. You know, where do you want to, you know, take it, you know, from here on out? You know, where does Hexen Arcane go from here?
Well, I'm one of those people that I kind of believe that like things kind of happen. Like I believe in fate in a way. So I think like we're always ready to jump on the next opportunity that presents itself, but we don't know what it's going to be.
Right.
So we're doing the show right now. We're putting everything into it. We want to keep making episodes. We want to keep traveling whenever we can. If someone invites us to like conventions or events, we are going to do our best to be there. But, you know, within reason, it depends on how far we can go.
Right.
Someone invited us to Japan. We definitely try, but I don't know if we can make it.
That'd be cool.
My dream is to one day like have a movie made about us. Hopefully it would be us starring in it, but like red carpet premiere with Hexen Arcane up on that marquee. Like that's where I want to see us go with this. And if we don't get there, that's okay too.
Yeah.
I love our fan base. We love our fan base. We wouldn't be who we are without them. So we are grateful no matter what scale we get to. But I have like this grandiose dream, like, oh, that'd be so cool.
My dream is to make the Horror Host Hall of Fame. But other than that, I just love that I want to wake up every day and love what I do. And if I do that and I'm bringing that joy and passion onto the screen and all my passion for travel and adventure and all the adventures we have, that's all I can really ask. And whatever comes from that, then, you know, that's a bonus.
And no matter what goes on in my personal life, the show, I want to say it's literally a lifesaver for me. I am grateful for that because it is something stable that I have. So it's home to me. That's
that's awesome. That a show like this, you guys are incredibly passionate about. And you know, one thing I know with the horror community, and it sounds like you run into it, you know, the same as I do, is you know they're incredibly passionate and supportive of you know whatever you're doing. You know, if it's horror related, you know, everybody I come across, they're really they're curious. You know, they want to know more. It's like, hey, what are you doing? You know, how can I support this? You know, yeah, obviously, if you're producing a film or something or producing any video content, you know, they want to be involved. But you know, I find that too with the the horror comic book community and novel the written word. You know, people are really into it. It's amazing, and to my experience, more so than other pop culture areas.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing. Oh, go ahead, Celeste, because I will railroad you.
World has its own, own subculture of weirdos, but yeah, in general, they've been so supportive and so helpful and so wonderful. We have people that watched us, found an episode of ours on Amazon and came to support our Patreon and follow us on YouTube and, buy merch from our website. And that just means so much to us. It says that we're doing something good for the horror community.
Nice. Go ahead, Morgan. I'm sorry.
I was going to say the horror community, I kid you not, they are some of the most accepting, non-judgmental, wonderful, diverse people you could ever find out there. Like, we love everybody. So, I mean, we like the outcasts. We, whoever you are.
Exactly.
We like you. Like, we accept you. So
like, you like horror too? Be our friends.
Yes. Yeah. You like horror? We're best friends.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. You talk about wanting to produce your own movie and stuff. I'd imagine previous hostesses like Elvira, Vampira, are big influences. But it's a lot of this content that's being produced out there is very regional. It seems like almost every region that you go to, you've got like a horror host or hostess, that showcases horror content out there. Is there some that some other people that have influenced you that you can recommend horror fans go and seek out?
Definitely, I've been inspired by other horror hosts
Yes.
a lot. The Monster Madhouse, he's
Right.
so
Yes.
amazing, so
Oh,
well.
Jerry Moore.
Yeah,
Yes.
so supportive.
Yes.
Like all the people that have, like, people have reached out to us from across the country, given us help, support, and advice, and said, hey, if you're ever in the area, come on our show, you know, sort of reaching each other's audience. And it's been amazing. Even the other horror host in our area, Dr. Destruction, he had us on his show right away. And we heard feedback from people. That's how a lot of people started watching our show on the same channel, is that they saw us first on his show. So it's been really amazing how, like, all other horror hosts want to support each other.
Yes. And that's another, like, about acceptance, and that is another big thing for me, is that we all try to be as supportive as we can of each other in this community, which I think is great.
Yeah, it's not a commodity. I don't think the audiences are a commodity. We're all sharing the same love of things, and we're not on at the same time. We're not competing with each other. You can love different horror hosts and watch their different shows for different reasons, and it doesn't mean that it's excluding the other one. So I think that when we work together, it makes communities better. We can accomplish so much more.
Right.
And that was one thing that we wanted for Hexen Arcane, is that we wanted to be different. We wanted to break away from the traditional intro movie segment skit, you know, and then back to that. And that's when we started brainstorming, like, okay, well, what can we do that's different? Well, let's travel. So a lot of stuff is filmed on location. What you see is what you get. You know, the local history of places, things like that. And it's one thing that we get a lot of feedback on that people like. Yeah. And so that, to me, is an honor. Like, cool, they like it. Like, it's something different, and not a bad difference.
No. Yeah, that was watching Ega again. You know, a movie that definitely you can tell that the filmmakers, it's a labor of love, right?
Yeah.
And I think it kind of foreshadows movies like Trog. Which is another, like, you know, B movie caveman with a named actress too.
Right.
But watching EGOT and then having you guys kind of break it up with, you've got your skits, but you also have the travel guide to Alcatraz, which I thought was, wow, what an interesting, you know, way to kind of break up the monotony of this film and its pacing by inserting that. It's like, this actually, oddly enough, it keeps me more engaged, because now it's a different topic, and then now I can go back to this film that I don't know, but is also kind of boring, you know, and be able to kind of, you know, play around with that, because I'm a person that has a limited attention span, very much.
Me too. Yeah, me too. And I want to use the phrase so bad, and I don't know, I never looked into it, but like Monty Python would say, and now for something completely different. Like, that's what I love. Like, let's mix it up. It's Darwin's grab bag in there.
Awesome. Yeah, most definitely. Speaking of something completely different, who's your friend there, Morgan?
Oh, this is our mascot. His name is Dilly.
Ooh.
And I know that you guys, the fans have seen him before. He wears many hats. Well, we'll say it that way. He is an armadillo. He was sent to us by a fan. And now he travels with us. People have tried to buy him from the table at conventions, and we're like, no.
Yeah, we had a viewer that became like a close friend of ours, just like talking online. You know, he supports us on Patreon, and he ended up sending us some props for the set, and one of them was Dilly, because I told him my favorite animal is armadillos. He didn't realize that Morgan also adores armadillos, and so that became like our favorite thing ever.
Did you know never pick an armadillo up by the back of the shell right here? They can break your fingers. They will shatter your knuckles. When they roll up into a ball, this literally becomes like armor. So like, know, and they do carry leprosy too.
Right. I have heard that. Wow. Yeah. I've never. That's one I've never understood. Just doesn't affect them, I imagine, but
No.
it transfers to us.
Right. And how we have squirrels here in Wisconsin and chipmunks and everything. This is the Texas squirrel / chipmunk. They
Yes.
are everywhere. Gophers, I guess that'd be another, comparison. Yeah. But yeah, this is Dilly.
Someday we're going to travel to Texas and we're going to have an episode where I go on a search for every wild armadillo I can find.
Yes.
That might be a tall order. You're probably going to find a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see me sweeping them down the sidewalk with a broom.
Yeah.
Which people do when they find them in their yards. You'll see the people in the morning out there. They'll be taking their brooms gently and pushing them out of the yard. Like, please go away. Because they will dig, and they will dig to your foundation. Like,
ooh,
they don't care.
Jeez. Yikes.
Yeah.
So, armadillo. It sounds like there should be a horror movie around armadillos.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they've made one with giant rabbits.
And Gila monsters.
Tire.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Monsters. What's that?
Yes.
And a killer tire.
Yeah, rubber. I love that.
The turkey. Thanks, Killing.
It so
Thanks,
much.
Killing. That was my friend Mike Downey and his brother.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's like a tradition now in my household. Thanks, Killing and rubber. Like, those are the ones we have to watch.
Yeah, it's
my family nuts.
It's absolutely
really
gonzo.
Expensive idea, but I still hated the movie. Sorry for your friends.
Oh, what? Thanks, Killing?
No, rubber. I hated it.
Oh, yeah. Rubber was not one of my friends. I love it because it's so crazy and abstract.
Yes.
It is very crazy.
Yeah. It's absolutely gonzo. I enjoy gonzo conceptual films, and most people around me do not like them, and almost as a rule. So.
Well, we don't have as many legal drugs as you do to enjoy these.
Right. Yeah, you really do have to be absolutely high. Like I said, all I do is coffee, and somehow that gets me through those movies. But it's usually a pot at a time.
Yeah.
So,
well, make sure when you watch Belle from Hell, our episode that you've now agreed to watch for some reason. I don't know. I think you actually agreed, but now I'm holding you to it.
You talk me into it.
A pot and a half of coffee for that one.
And was it the Telltale Heart? That one too?
That one was bad. And also Frankenstein 80.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Frankenstein 80 and Telltale Heart. And I want to say that I've seen Telltale Heart. But yeah, I'm always game for, putting myself through a lot of anguish. And hopefully it's entertaining too. I enjoy a little bit of pain.
Yes, if you're a masochist, watch our show.
Yes. For those of you who enjoy pain and torture, watch Hexen Arcane. We highly recommend it. If you like visual and audio torture, that's a good one.
But to be fair, I mean, these are all gems. These so many talented people made these wonderful public domain films, and they do need to be celebrated.
Yes.
They really do. Even Belle from Hell.
Yeah. And even something like that, it needs to be showcased, it needs to be shared, because otherwise it's going to be forgotten.
Yeah, we actually show we have a good friend, his name is Michael Butt, and he makes these really low budget movies that I think are just wonderful. They're good storylines. He does a lot with a little. And you'll look at it and you'll first see that, it looks low budget. But when you really watch it, I think he just captures some magic in his movies. And we love showing them. I just have a really soft spot for his films. Not just the ones I was in, but all
Nice. That's awesome. Well, and a platform like, Hexen Arcane is, such a wonderful place to celebrate, that kind of art.
Yes.
And really champion it too. So my hat's off to you ladies for doing that. And Celeste, Morgan, we're just about out of time. But for everybody that's tuning in, make sure to go to their YouTube channel. It's streaming down below right after this broadcast, and subscribe and sign the petition too for the cold.
Give that little boy a name
about it, and we have the petition linked in the description for that video. So if you look for that, you will find it, and we would so appreciate any support.
It's on our bucket list that we need to get him a name. So it's near and dear to our hearts, and it's that time of year. So please help.
Yes, most definitely. No, I think that's a wonderful thing that you're doing, bringing attention to these forgotten cold cases, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. Celeste, Morgan, thanks so much for coming on the show and chatting with me, and I absolutely love learning about new people doing cool things, enriching the creative community and helping the social community at large too. I love it.
Thank you so much for having us. Really fun. It's been a joy to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you as well. Hang around for a few minutes while we sign off. But I just want to say thanks to everybody tuning in. Remember, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Be safe and take care of each other out there. But of course, want to say thanks to all our sponsors, to Hellfire Entertainment. Thanks for rebroadcasting this on your social media. Our friends at Mutiny Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated, as I clearly am. Jeez. And our friends at Groovy TV. We lost Groovy last year, but we carry on in your stead. And of course, Alien Donut Films, Bill and Angela over there. Thanks for putting up with my shit. And of course, my producers, Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong. We love you, kids. And everybody have a safe holiday and a happy New Year. We'll see you after the New Year, sometime in January. We'll schedule that when we get there. But again, Celeste, Morgan, thanks so much for coming on. And everybody out there, have a good night. Take care.
Talk to you soon.